Yo, people. Once again, it's another conversation with E. I think, I think going forward, so I'm kind of eating on my heart attack fries, but I think going forward, yeah, I'm gonna make it more combos with E. I think it's more comfortable. It's more, yeah, it's more comfortable. It's something that's it's more inviting because instead of reinvention, because I had a profound perspective to this week actually. As you know by the title of this video, which I'm probably going to title it, I think the title is going to be You Keep an External Scoreboard Rather Than an Internal Scoreboard, and That's Why You're Depressed. AKA, comparison is the thief of joy. Bro, it's no surprise that as us Gen Zers, or people who have, who was born either between the years of 1998 and even some earlier guys, like some earlier millennials, let's say from 1991 to like, let's say 2000. I think we've grown up with, it's safe to say, fairly difficult times. Some more than others, but fairly difficult times, man. And with the advent of social media, and again, a certain portrayal or optic of a aesthetic, aka hustle culture, be successful, generational wealth, get this amount of money before you reach this. And I see there's a lot of with Gen Zers. How to not fuck up your 20s, how to not do this, and how to retire before you reach this age. And I'm like, you know what, yeah. As much as that sounds nice, and this isn't me being negative, but as much as that sounds nice, a lot of that shit, it gets to a point where you're just like, oh man, everyone's got this, everyone's got that, and where am I? Look at me, where am I in my life? Am I behind? And I know it's a cliche to say, oh, you're not behind. You're right. You're exactly right where you are. I 110% believe that now. Now, this isn't me saying that you should be stagnant or you should not try and shoot for the stars and land on the moon. Pardon me. But what I am saying is that it's okay to be where you're at right now. I'm not saying you should accept it as this should always be, but it's okay to be where you're at and learn from what you can do. Like, don't see this spot as, okay, what I'm trying to say is stop trying to look towards an end goal towards things. Because I always say this, we're in a state of becoming. Rather than looking, and because we're always looking towards to make a specific goal, specific endpoint, because let's be honest, that specific goal or that specific endpoint, it's all influenced from the external. Social media. Housing is important, but there's always this push, this rush, to buy a house quickly. And we often forget that a house should be a commodity rather than an asset, number one. Number two, if you look at what we're kind of going through as a collective, as a generation, like this is Gen Z and like a certain class of millennials are specifically worse off than their parents. Like, it's hard to buy a house, and to often see others online and compare yourself, keeping an external scoreboard rather than keeping an internal scoreboard, rather than sitting with yourself and understanding, are you becoming the person that you need to be or you want to be? Not because of the external, not because social media told you to, but because you're doing it because you want to be just a better version for yourself. And a better version for yourself isn't necessarily have to make enough, this amount of money to to have this amount of assets. Don't get it twisted. It's nice because at the end of the day we need to survive. But let's be real. Look at the times we're living in. Everyone has to be an influencer. Everyone has to do this by this age. It's like you don't need. It's like when you're being bombarded with so much stimulation, so many optics of other people's lives, you often forget that you have a life with yourself, and you have an actual timeline that you're abiding by. This is why I always say, like, you're keeping a scoreboard on the external rather than on the internal. You're not you're tracking. You're keeping score of that guy who's just got his house but could be in a shit ton of debt. You're keeping score of that woman who's got a relationship, but Lord knows that relationship's on the rocks and there's cheating inside that relationship. Pardon me. You're keeping score on the external. It's that aesthetic, that external aesthetic that you're keeping score of. And this is, by the way, I'm not sitting on a high horse here. Like, I don't do it. I do. If anything, this is a message to myself. But yeah, you're keeping a scoreboard on the external rather than on the internal. Are you becoming better? Is your mindset becoming better? Are you dealing with the traumas that you had years back, childhood, that's making you be able to stop the patterns that you keep repeating? Are you able to increase your consciousness internally rather than rather than increase your status externally? Which, by all means, if you want to do that, you can do that. But for me, and again, this is a note to myself: stop comparing yourself, your external self, or your external, and start comparing your internal. Are you better than what you were last year, last week? Are you having the difficult conversations that you're having? I mean, that you're supposed to have. Are you becoming a lot less avoidant in your emotions and in your feelings? And not in some weird shit, but like not in some, oh, you have to, I don't know, not in some gay gooey stuff, but like, are you aware of yourself, man? Because more people are not aware of themselves these days, man. It's because they're always comparing on the external. Again, this is a note to myself. I was looking on social media, seeing people, have this type of relationship, or have this type of fucking type of status. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're comparing your internal, if you're comparing your external to your internal, and your internal even shape, like, developing. Because truth be told, if your internal ain't developing, your external gonna repeat the same patterns that you dislike. But hey, man, that's me. I'll catch you on in a bit.